All right, so I got a reaction coming at y'all real quick, man. I saw this the other day on Instagram, man, and I wanted to get my perspective on it, man. It's good to see our sisters actually, you know what I'm saying, doing this type of stuff, man, actually speaking on this type of stuff. So let's get into it.
Ladies, I know it's annoying when a man corrects you, but believe it or not, this is him being masculine. This is him caring enough to be vocal and share with you, okay? He's not trying to be your daddy. He's not trying to tell you what to do. He loves you. He cares.
Now, the fact that you even have to say that says a lot, you know what I'm saying, coming from, you know what I'm saying, our sisters. The fact that you even have to say that for real, is a big deal. But the fact that she actually saying it is very much appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And I want to go back through it one more time. That we gonna jump into the Bible, man. Y'all already know how we do.
Ladies, I know it's annoying when a man corrects you, but believe it or not, this is him being masculine.
That's him being masculine, but at the same time, that's him being godly. That's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of women say they want a man of God, but that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. A man of God is going to be checking you when you're not doing things the right way. This is Genesis chapter 18 and verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him. So if you're going to have to command your children and your household, that means you're going to have to correct people because they're going to have to start modeling themselves after the way of God, you know, after the word of God. They're going to have to do that. So if you're not in a space where you willing to hear correction, a man of God is not the person for you. Let's read it again. Verse 19, for I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment. Because keeping the way of the Lord, you're going to make mistakes, period, point blank. So if you got a husband that'll watch you make those mistakes and don't correct you, that's literally showing you that he don't love you. We going to go in the Bible, we going to show that. For you not to correct somebody, that's to show that you don't love them. Let's keep reading. That the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. Right? Let's get some more. I said that correction is love according to the Bible. Let's just go get that right quick. This is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Actually, let's get the definition of rebuke. Let's get the definition of rebuke. Rebuke. To criticize sharply, to reprimand, to serve as a rebuke too. So, here go another one. An expression of strong disapproval. So it's correction at the end of the day. To criticize sharply. Let's
Rebuke.
rebuke. Going back. It's Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. So the opposite of that is to love, right? So he finna explain to you how do you show that you don't hate your brother, right? Let's read it again. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. So to show that you don't hate your brother, you're supposed to rebuke him, which is to criticize sharply, to correct him, right? And not suffer sin upon him. So if you a husband and you got a wife and your wife is doing things that's out of order, you supposed to correct her if you love her, period, point blank. And that's a problem with a lot of our brothers in the black community. They struggle with correcting black women. We're not gonna see it act like correcting black women is an easy thing to do, but you also, as a black man, you can't sit around and not want to do that. You can't do that. It is what it is. To love is to correct at the end of the day. Let's get an example of that when that did not happen. Bad things happen when you do not correct people. It is what it is. This is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife. Let me read it again. Verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife. What was he supposed to do in this situation? He was supposed to correct her. He did not do that. He knew what she was doing was wrong. And he went along with it. Why? Because he couldn't correct her. He couldn't tell her that. Read it again. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, he said, I commanded you not to do that. So how would you, okay, if God commanded you to do that, that mean that go for your wife as well. That go back to Genesis 18 and 19. he said he was going to command his children and his household after him. That's the same thing that go for Abraham, right? Abraham, same thing went for Adam. Your wife is supposed to do the same thing. So why would you allow her to do something that God told you couldn't do? You got to really think about that. Saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. And that's why you got to go to work today. That's why you got to go to work today. Like, women be fighting like hell to go to work. It was literally a punishment for men to have to work to eat. We gonna continue on. Let's get some more. Just for you, some of you brothers that don't like to correct y'all women, man. It is what it is. This is Job chapter 2 and verse 9. This is kind of the same situation that Adam was in. Let's read it. This Job chapter 2 and verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. Obviously, this is an evil sister. She should not have been saying what she was saying. And she said it. She really thought she was going to get away with that. Watch this. Verse 10. This is the complete opposite of what Adam did. Verse 10. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. You sound dumb, sis. You sound stupid. Be quiet. Don't say that no more. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God? And shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. So him checking her the way that he did, it wasn't nothing wrong with what he did. For him to say, you speaking like one of those stupid women. You sound dumb. Don't do that no more. Don't say that no more. We're not used to that in the black community. Let's be real. We're not used to that in the black community. We're not used to men standing up and telling our women, like, hold up, we doing this wrong. We need to go the other way. We're not used to that. We're used to following after the women. It is what it is. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 11. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Because that's what most people go through. This go for men and women. When you're getting checked, when you're getting chastened, when you're getting corrected, rebuked, it don't feel good. It is what it is. Let's read it again. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, after it yielded the peaceable fruits of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Because if you take the correction as a wife, right, and you start doing the things, and you start correcting the things that you was being corrected on, it's going to make for a more peaceful household. Let's read it again. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Because it hurts sometimes when you get corrected. It make you feel some type of way sometimes to get corrected. But nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness. Because after you get corrected and you fix it, your life be in a better position, right? You grow in understanding, right? It is what it is. We're not used to that, but it is what it is. Unto them which are exercised thereby. Because you getting corrected is exercising your spirit at the end of the day. Because over time, you get built up to that where it's like being corrected ain't that big of a deal no more. We're not used to that in the black community. That's why we look at correction as being an attack. We look at correction as bashing. But, you know, that ain't how it go. It is what it is. So going back to what the sisters were saying, don't look at your husband correcting you, or don't look at your man correcting you as a bad thing. Let's go back and listen to it one more time. Don't look at your husband correcting you as a bad thing.
Ladies, I know it's annoying when a man corrects you, but believe it or not, this is him being masculine.
That's him actually being a man. Because men was put in place to protect women. Men was put in place to guide women. So if he's put in a position where he can't correct you, how can he do any of those things for you? That's a man being a man. That's him being what he's supposed to be.
This is him caring enough to be vocal and share with you, okay? He's not trying to be your daddy. He's not trying to tell you what to do. He loves you. He cares.
And that's how you need to look at it, because let's be real. A lot of women don't have that. A lot of women don't have shit. Let's just look at it from a fatherly standpoint. Most women haven't had a man speak life into them and correct them about the things that they're doing wrong their whole life. So you can see why they'll have an issue with it, you know what I'm saying, coming from a intimate partner. But at the same time, You got to start training your mind to go back to how it's supposed to be. Watch this. This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Because this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, right? A lot of people will hear that say the chastening of the Lord, right? The Most High is not going to come down here and correct you himself. He's not. He's going to send people to correct you at the end of the day. I know people don't want to hear that. I know a lot of people don't want to be in a mode where they're getting corrected by their peers. But the Most High is going to send somebody to correct you. The Most High is not going. If the Most High have to correct you, you're going to die. He's going to send somebody to speak to you. He's going to send somebody to correct you. He's going to send somebody to show you the proper way of doing it. If you don't want to take that correction, bad things going to happen. It is what it is. Bad things happen when you don't listen to the correction. Let me read it again. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Now you can go to Proverbs chapter 1 and see what is the consequences of you not listening or you not taking heed to the correction. He said he's going to laugh at your calamity. So when bad things start happening to you because you didn't take the correction, he's going to laugh at your downfall. That's Bible. I know y'all probably don't believe that God will laugh at you when you're getting slaughtered, but it is what it is. I'm going to just read verse 26 and y'all can go back and read it on your own. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. I'm going to jump up one verse just to give it to you. Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Going back into chapter 3, he said, don't despise the chastening of the Lord. So that reproof and chastening is the same thing. That's correction. If you don't like the chastening of the Lord, you don't like the reproof of the Lord. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. It is what it is. So now you don't want to listen to God. You don't want to listen to the Most High giving you correction. So now when your life in shambles, you got to deal with that on your own. It is what it is. But, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'm out.